Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop, Sunday the 12th of January. I'm Gav, and this is Keith, this is Emma, and this is Shawnee, and we're with you for the next hour or so talking about all things Liverpool. They did go through in the third round of the FA Cup against Accrington Stanley. The draw is being made for the fourth round, which we'll talk about. They're leaking stuff about players they may be interested in, and looking a bit silly in my opinion, but we'll talk about that as well. And anything else that comes up in the chat as we go on. Keith, I'm going to start with you. Job done yesterday. Accrington Stanley, I thought, gave a good account of themselves. Goals 3 and 4 come late in the game. But a good game overall. The team we picked, the players we wanted to give minutes to, the players we wanted to rest, goals for players that probably needed one, probably no goals for a player that did need one. But overall, Keith, no injuries, all good. And the youngest ever starter for Liverpool as well yesterday.
Yeah. When the team news came out, I was expecting Chiesa to start, and then we heard rumours he's injured or whatever, and he's on the
Sick
bench.
for a couple of days
And then it comes
beforehand.
out, it comes out that he's sick. And I suppose the more you think about that, you wonder, has there been about a sickness running through the club? You know, we know Szoboszlai's been out sick, and when you look at some of the performances over the last couple of games, maybe there's been a little bit of blading, Ronnie Drew in the camp because he looked jaded, but he didn't start. So with that, I was delighted to see Engamoa getting a start. We've all been excited. We've all seen the clips. You know, you hear good things about him. So you're excited to see what he can bring to the table. I like the team. I like when we play Scaldy teams. No disrespect to Accrington Stanley. But I like when we play teams in cup competitions where you can put in the younger lads. Like, his interview after the game was very telling that he will move on. But I like watching Tyler Morton play for Liverpool. I think he's a good player. He's a player that I enjoy to watch. James McConnell, another player that I enjoy seeing getting some minutes. Trey Ione, all these young lads. So I like these types of games. Accrington Stanley, they kept in the game until late on. Their fans and the club, it's a pity a lot of other teams didn't come to Anfield and behave the way maybe Accrington did. They're getting a lot of good press. There's no singing stupid songs and things like that. So look, they didn't get hammered. They got well beaten. Liverpool gave runouts to a lot of fringe players and young players and players who needed minutes. We'd 4 goals for Chiesa, with Jayden Dance getting on the score sheet. It was nearly a perfect day, really. You know what I mean? Like, not that you don't want to see teams getting absolutely spanked, but when a Premier League team is playing a League Two team or a non-league team, it's good to beat them, obviously, and beat them well. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just a sentimentalist like that. You don't want to see fucking like Man City hopping off Salford. Wasn't really upset about that one, if I'm being totally honest. But you don't want to see these lower teams getting absolutely spanked. So yeah, I think it was the sort of perfect day, really. For both teams, and I think everyone leaves there happy enough.
Yeah, I think Accrington would have been delighted, and I don't think anyone would have begrudged them a goal at the Anfield Road in front of their fans, but it wasn't to be, despite a couple of chances, one near the end as well, where your man just said, oh, fuck this, I'm just lashing it, instead of taking a touch and going into the box for it. But, Shawnee, they go on about the magic of the FA Cup and the romanticism of it and everything else, but we're not, if we're going to be honest about this, Liverpool are looking at this and they're going, fuck the romantic side of it and the magic of it. We're going to use this as a platform for Forest and Brentford and games beyond that. We're going to use it to rest players. Some players that will be in contention for that game or them games need some minutes, the likes of Bradley and others, Jota and others. But Liverpool used it for what it was yesterday, which was a game that they expected to win, where they could rotate heavily and get players back, give players rests, and it just went as smooth as you could possibly want it to.
Yeah, I think we maximised the opportunity to get everything possible we could out of it in terms of obviously progressing to the next round, giving out a couple of debuts, and resting players that needed rest and playing players that needed minutes. So, I think all in all it went. I think I enjoyed the week and the build. Look, the FA Cup has lost its charm for a lot of people for reasons that are kind of perfectly understandable. Like, I think we're at a wit's end with the amount of football that we're playing and stuff like that, and kind of the FA Cup. Look, it's one of them things. It's like the League Cup, and you're in
But
the semi-final.
Shawnee, they're playing games from Thursday right through the Monday.
I know.
That's
But
why it's
listen,
lost what it's meant to
it's
be.
one of them things where, look, I'm not disputing that, not at all. But like, it's one of them things where you get to the semi-final, or you get a home draw, and you're like, oh, you could go to the next. Like, we've Plymouth in the next round. No reason why we shouldn't progress then and go. You might get a little bit of luck. But for me, what was I actually thought was lovely, kind of in the build-up, like Keith said, Accrington Stanley's the decorum and the grace in the week was lovely in the build-up. It was great to see that a couple of lads who came through Liverpool Academy got to play at Anfield, albeit at a different level. Like that lad, Liam Coyle, has played 103 professional games. He was in Liverpool Academy since a very young age. There was another couple of ones. And then there was like another subplot of their manager was Trent's coach when he was 6'7", and then there was the nice little interaction with them after the game, and then obviously with them laying the wreath before the night before, and then there's the meme stuff of the lad out of the ad showing up with Ian Rush in the plane in the executive box, and the two boys drinking a pint of milk, like stuff like that. Like it was, they're like it was nice, you know, like, and it's a break from all the shite we're seeing at football at the moment between Super Leagues and Saudi and all the other crap you see. And it was nice to see that is that little bit of bleeding stardust left in it. And then you have Tamworth there today who missed out on a replay at White Hart Lane and would have been loud of money. So, like, there's two ways to look at it, but I just think if you look pure football sense, I think Liverpool got every single drop out of that which they could have yesterday, which was progress to the next round, a clean bill of health, get a look at some of the next gen, give minutes to like Kanate, Szoboszlai, Jota, who you feel need them, Chiesa, who's needed minutes. You know, like it was just, to be honest with you, I think if you had sat down at the start of the week and wrote out a little script exactly how you wanted it to go, I think we would have ticked out every single box yesterday. And again, like it didn't really. It's just kind of, I won't say an obstacle, but it's just kind of like a mark on the map of the way the season's going, and I think it's perfect. It's just perfect preparation for Tuesday.
Yeah. A couple of players, you know, kind of stand out for me, and when you look at coming back and getting minutes and stuff. And look, we haven't seen much of Tyler Morton, and he's kind of quoted. He's been quoted today saying, look, he's going to have to look at his future in the summer with regards to playing football. He feels he wants to go and be a proper professional somewhere, and that's absolutely fine. And it's not too unexpected. But when you look at some of the players that you see, you know, Szoboszlai has been ill, missed the last couple of games. He comes back and gets 45. You see Chiesa come on and get a run. He gets a goal. You see the young lad Rio, and I can't pronounce the second name. Ingamoa. He gets a start and has I think it's a really good 45 minutes for a 16-year-old playing his full debut at Anfield. You see Jota getting those minutes and he scores. You see Bradley coming back in. Then you see Dance, who's been out. And comes back in and he's running around like a bleeding madman. He was so good when he come on. I thought, you know, if Arne Slot is looking for, like the lad said there, a perfect run up to not just for us, but a run of games that's coming now. He couldn't have asked for much more, and so many players got what they needed there yesterday.
Yeah, it was great. That kid Engamawa is going to be unbelievable. When he kind of nearly. He needs to. I'm not comparing him to Ronaldo, but when Ronaldo first came to Manchester United, he was all step overs and wanted to just run everything. Like he just wanted to do absolutely everything. That looks a little bit like what he does when he refines his skill a little bit. I think he's going to be an unbelievable player. I think everybody you mentioned there, was great to see them get on, and it was the perfect game. Like Shawnee said, we could have ended up with a game like there was today, going 120 minutes into penalty. But it was just get the lads, get minutes into the legs. Some took advantage of their chance, some didn't. I was a little bit disappointed with Elliot. And I know he got moved around different positions throughout the game, but I wanted to see a little bit more from Elliot yesterday. It's admirable that Martin wants to go on and be a professional. There's loads of kids that just sit around at a football team and say, I play for Liverpool. So it's great to see that he actually wants to progress. And I thought Endo did absolutely brilliant at centre back. I know you have to look at what you're up against, but he did it last week as well. He didn't do too bad. So I think, like Shawnee said, it was perfect. It was great seeing all the interaction at the end. The fact that Accrington Stanley's manager didn't think that Trent would remember him, and he said he comes up to me then at the end saying, "Oh, I remember you," and all that. That I know some people think the romance of the cup is gone, but yesterday was a little kind of a throwback, nearly to what it used to be like.
Of course, look, we get through. We draw Plymouth away in the next round, and I don't know where that's going to be thrown in. I think it's either before
8th
or
of
after.
February.
It's after the League Cup second leg, isn't it? Yeah, I think
8th of February. Yeah. That's what I was saying today, that they'd be playing the way they frame it. Week commencing 8th of February, but like you said, the way the FA Cup is now, that could be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah,
Like,
they've spaced over 5 days. You see, I might just on it quickly. My thing when I was growing up watching the FA Cup was, you had everything was at 3:00. It was fucking great, right? Everything was at 3:00, and then you might have had a game on the Saturday evening, and you might have had a game on the Sunday, and that was it. And he packed
Sunday at 6:00 was normally a game.
and the match of the
BBC.
the match of the day on the Saturday night just had about like 40 games to watch. You know, there was goals everywhere, and I always remember the guy off I remember his name in a minute. He scored a hat-trick away at West Brom for was it Wrexham? Might have been Wrexham, but I always remember that massively, that this guy got a hat-trick. His name's gone out of my head, but things like that, you know, and just joint killings. And
that well, did you?
no,
Mickey Thomas
his name
is the one I
is a
remember.
weird name, and it's gone out of my head. I had it a minute ago, and it's gone. But he scores it. It's Woking he was playing for.
Yeah, man. What's his name? I know the fella.
It was a hat-trick for Woking away at West Brom in the early 90s. And he's just got out of my head in the last couple of minutes. But
Someone will put it in the chat.
yeah, someone will. But things like that,
Range and
Thursday,
all of them.
playing from Thursday right through to Monday, you know, it's so stretched out now. You don't even know, is that an FA Cup game? Is it a League fucking 2 game? You don't know what it is. Yes, Tim Bazzago. That's it. Exactly. I always remember that one. Always do. But we get Plymouth. And Keith, you know, we know when it's going to be. We know we're away. We played them a couple of years ago, actually, and I went to a replay. I think Lucas scores in a draw down there. But, oh no, we draw at home. Lucas, I think, might score a goal at their place. But it's another chance, Keith. You know, they've had a little bit of an upturn since Rooney left there, but it's another chance against a team that we can go away and we can bring these players that we seen yesterday. So it's kind of fallen nicely again for us. The only way it could be better, Keith, is probably if it was a home draw. But an away draw to Plymouth means you can move this squad around again and bring in some youngsters and some fringe players and go and do that in round 4, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Plymouth was stinking under Wayne Rooney. It's a pity he's not there, but if he was still there, they wouldn't have been into the bleeding draw. They beat Brentford, didn't they, at the weekend? So, you know, it's a big win for them away to Brentford, who we know up until the last few weeks have had the best home record in the league, in the Premiership, and they got turned over then. Morgan Whittaker got the goal. I'm just reading that there, and he's a dangerous player for them.
And he's going to Palace or something, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah.
He's been a player that's got a lot of attention over the last year or so. A good player. Hopefully he fucks off before we play it and be nice. But
Well, he'll have to.
Have to, won't he? The window closes.
in February, yeah. But all joking aside, like it's a good one. I think the FA Cup, I sort of agree with what Sean was saying there. It's lost its magic for all the reasons that we've spoken about. And I think Liverpool nearly can look at it as, look, I would not saying don't go out to win it, but I wouldn't be focusing heavy on playing lads that, you know, are entering the red zone. You know what I mean? Like, play the young lads, play the lads who need the minutes. And if we win, we win. You don't want to go out, obviously. You don't want to get beaten by a lower league team. But I would nearly treat that FA Cup as in, look, we'll get as far as we can with this sort of shadow squad and see where we can go from there. Because, look, we're in a semi-final of one cup with a second leg to come to get to a possible final. We've a league to focus on. We've a Champions League to focus on. And the FA Cup, I'd be nearly playing, not even bringing first team sort of regulars to that game. But it's a big game for Plymouth. It's in their place. They'll be fancying a turnover. It'll be on BBC or it'll be on one of them, and everyone will be looking for the the joint killing
Or
and
you can
all
guarantee
that.
we're down in
Yep.
Plymouth at 12 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah.
You can fucking
Probably
guarantee it. You know,
8 o'clock on Saturday night or something. Bleeding.
Or 8 o'clock Saturday morning.
See, the thing is, as well, isn't the Everton game squeezed in between that and Wolves? The 11th or 12th of February. Has that been confirmed?
I'm not too
yeah.
sure. There's just so many fucking dates. There's so many dates and
Really
so many
sure
days.
that squeezes in
I
between.
think it is, yeah. I
Lad,
think
you'd
you're right.
swear they were going down to blame Plymouth and these places on horseback. Will you give her over?
They go to the bus. They go to the bus, Shoddy. That's the rules of the FA Cup. You have to go on a bus. The rules of the
You
FA
had to
Cup.
land in
Didn't they,
Birmingham the other night. Gotta help them. Will you do me
Yeah,
a bleed
yeah.
horn?
These are prime athletes. These are fucking athletes. They shouldn't
Everton
be
is
trekking like
February.
that.
It's the-
Everton
the
is
11th,
February
yeah.
the 11th.
Yeah.
It's a
So-
Tuesday. So we'll have
Yeah,
to
so
play.
we'll play it on the
Plymouth
Saturday. We'll have to play
Thursday,
on the
Friday,
Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah, they'll probably make it the Friday night game.
No, we can't. We can't. It'll have to be Saturday because we have the second leg against Spurs on the 6th.
Which is the Wednesday, is it?
Thursday. So it might be the
And
Sunday.
Harvey Elliott has a 12-hour shift in the coal yard on his
Hold on a minute. We're playing. We're meant to play. We're meant to play. Are we meant? Hold on a minute. Just to get them right. I know what you're saying, but we're playing. We're playing a Thursday night for this.
6th Thursday.
Yeah. We're playing
And then
Everton on the 11th the following Tuesday.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to play a game on Sunday
Yeah.
and play 2 days later against Everton.
Can I ask a genuine question? One of you might have the answer.
Go on.
What was the story with now? It doesn't make a difference. But what was the story with a 12:15 yesterday?
Don't know.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. I heard.
don't
I
know.
think the lad.
Was there a game?
someone else was
Answer me
wearing
this. Was there a game on a half two?
There was
3 o'clock.
there was a few games on at 12:30.
I don't know what the 12:15 thing is. I really
Yeah.
don't.
It's fucking stupid.
Is it TV schedule and was there some other sport on yesterday that they had to get? Where was it on in the UK? Like channel was
UTV.
It was on
UTV.
Oh yeah, UTV must have been shambling Coronation Street omnibus
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
Catchphrase was on.
Oh, we're not moving the
Catchphrase
Coronation
reruns.
Street omnibus from 2 o'clock. So
Yeah.
listen, move that game 15 minutes. Davey T asks, what's your favourite joint killing? Don't mention Hereford 72 for fuck's sake. Mine is Ipswich
Ronnie
beating
Radford.
Arsenal
Get in there.
78 in the 78 Cup final. Someone mentioned one of my favourites. It's Wrexham beating Arsenal.
Wrexham against Arsenal.
90
Mickey
Mickey
Thomas.
Thomas.
90
yeah,
minutes.
Mickey Thomas, ex-Man United.
92,
92,
yeah.
I think
Mickey
it was,
Thomas at the racecourse, yeah. I'm trying to think of any more. Liverpool were involved in one when Bristol City came and
Yeah.
beat them in a replay at Anfield.
Was that under Souness?
Yes. Yeah, man, Tinian scores for Bristol City, the left winger. But yeah, no, I'm trying to think if you can think of any more, throw them in as we go.
Where were Burnley when they beat us? Jimmy Traore decided to backheel it over the line.
I think they were the championship side. He just done a fucking Cruyff turn into the back of his own net.
Do you know what I like? Man
But that end
United
of
winning
the
last season.
ground that Burnley must have done something, because you remember the time the ball was running out and Simon Mignolet just watched it and then let it go out over the line before he tried to clear up the pitch and gave away a corner. Do you remember that? Do you remember
Now
that?
the Hilgers on just sucking the ball.
There's fucking no, like, yeah, there's something at that end of the Burnley ground. But mind you, the away end at Burnley is the weirdest looking away end you'll ever see. It's like they've stuck a cottage in the middle of the stand. Do you ever see that big gap? Looks like people are standing on someone's fucking the roof of someone's gap. But Leicester were on a half two, says Carl Robinson. Oh well, then let's fucking
Oh
go.
yeah, let's put Liverpool on earlier. I
It's
mean,
bad.
we were talking about fixtures and when they're going to squeeze them in. These pricks made us play a game when we were in fucking Japan, and they made us play Aston Villa when we were on another
In
continent,
Qatar.
didn't they? So
Yeah.
Qatar, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
So, like, God knows when we'll have to squeeze that in.
We might end up playing it the morning of the Everton game on the 11th. But you never know. Look, you never know. Look,
Harvey Elliott phoning in sick to the mine.
yeah, yeah, can't come in today, boys. I have
Get
2
2 days off a week, boys.
Like that, you get caught then. Like that kid that went to the Arsenal game from Newcastle was on the telly and laid in the school. We're not a part of it.
and sent an email, didn't they? Go and listen. We're gonna
Yeah.
we've put this down as unauthorized. Like
Yeah,
they're like they can
And they get
authorize
big
what your
fines
kids
in
do.
the UK.
Ah, would you fuck
Yeah, I
off?
think it's serious.
do.
Isn't it?
Just say it wasn't
do.
him.
Yeah, it wasn't. Shave the kid's head, right?
No,
straight away.
just say
shave
it
the kid's
wasn't
head.
him.
Say that wasn't him. He got his head
Don't
shaved
do,
last
don't do
week.
anything to the child. of course, the child goes
Shave
off
his head.
school, not sick. Well, he's sick and he heads off to the Emirates. He watches Newcastle win. He's right in front of the camera, like he's fucking banging centre. They're using him for all the clips at half time and all.
I hope
And
that little young fella who was crying on Arsenal's fan TV
oh
has to
my
get the
God.
field tomorrow
Did
and
you
get
see-
bullied.
but I would just turn around and go, that wasn't my son. And they go, it's the
Yeah.
image of him. It's the image of
Ah,
him.
yeah.
But unless you
Prove
can
it to
fucking,
him.
unless
Look,
you
he
can
was
absolutely
sick.
prove
He
it
was
to him.
down seeing a specialist in London. We said we
No,
may as well take
unless
him
you
the
can
match.
go down and get his fingerprints out the back of the chair or something, and I'm not having it. You know what I mean? But look, post-match show yesterday, Kev, Chris, Ashley, Matt, they covered everything, all the goals and everything. We're not going to go through that. We've gone through that. We've won. We know the draw. The rest of the weekend, you know, I suppose the standout thing is the Arsenal and United game today.
That was wild, wasn't it?
Wild, yeah. Like, go on, Johnny. I'll start with you. I was watching that, and I genuinely couldn't believe what I was watching. Like, you know, United have about 3 shots in the whole game. Arsenal make a mistake. United punish them. Fernandez is a brilliant finish, in fairness to him. Delot gets himself sent
Great
off.
goal. It's a great goal.
It is a great goal. It's a brilliant finish.
It's just as well it wasn't him on the end of that Maguire one last week.
Yeah.
Very, very similar.
But Delot gets himself sent off. Arsenal equalise, miss a penalty, which is never a penalty. No. But Arsenal spend literally an hour of football, a bit more probably. Around an hour, Shawnee, where they make chances. They just keep not taking the chance they're getting. And even every time United even got a sniff of an attack, which wasn't very often, they looked really dangerous. It was a mad game, wasn't it?
I think Arsenal are one of these teams who, do you ever get when a player's out and they're injured and all of a sudden their reputation just grows enormously? Do you know how it kind of happened to it? And before he left Southampton, it happened to Van Dijk. Van Dijk got an ankle injury at Van Dijk, and he was out. And it was during that time he was out, his reputation grew, and all of a sudden he was a 75 million defender. Now, he was very good, but in his absence, I think what's happened with Arsenal is, in our absence, in title races, in the year where they kind of stepped in for us, people got this idea that Arsenal are way better than they are. And Gav, you know, between myself and yourself, I've said this off podcasts for a long time. I've never actually... There was a spell, I think, not last season, the season before, where they were really good to watch, and they played lovely football. But I just never felt like Arsenal were the real deal. I'd never seen anything from them to suggest they were the real deal. Even in the Europa League under Arteta, they get turned over at home to
Sporting Lisbon.
And they throw away in cup games, and we go there and beat them over. We were 0-0 in the League Cup semi-final, and we went there and just turned them over handy. I never felt like this Arsenal team were the real deal. I never seen a result from them to suggest that these are the real deal. And I feel like everyone else kind of cotton on to the fact that they're not that good. They're really not. That Saka, who was a special player, they were so reliant on for him to go through absolutely everything. And it's proven now. Odegaard was out, and then all of a sudden he was this fella who became the best number 10 in the league in his absence. Again,
he's done.
I'm not saying he's a bad player, but he's just not as good as people say. I think he slows everything down. I think everything he does.
Sorry, your words are ringing in my ears today, because there was one stage in, I can't remember if it was the second half or the second half of extra time.
It was second half, the one where he tries to play the reverse ball and he just passes straight back to the centre back.
United actually went forward and had the ball, and then it broke out and it went into the middle of the park, and Odegaard had it, and he, like, the whole pitch opening up, and it was like, I think it might have been Martinelli had a one-on-one down the side, and I was like, play him, and he actually runs out towards Martinelli with it, doesn't give it to him, pirouettes and turns in a big mad circle, and then runs across and plays it to Sterling, and then just gets it back off Sterling, and United gets 7 bodies back. I was actually thinking of you when I seen it. I was like, he's slowing it down.
And he'd frustrate the life out of me if he'd done it. He's like a bit like Coutinho in his first kind of season at Liverpool, where you're like, you don't need to do that. And then it just clicked with Coutinho going, if I do that the first time. And it just doesn't seem to be clicking with him. And again, I think he's a player who's important. Like, watching our man Saliba today, I think he's a fabulous centre-back, but Jesus Christ, I've never seen anyone do that to Van Dijk. And your man Xerxes was turning around, and I'm not even joking yet. Your man Xerxes' first touch is that bad. He was starting counter-attacks for Arsenal, and I'm not even joking. That's how bad it was.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. I really enjoy it as a good game of football, but I think it's the beginning and the end for Arteta's Arsenal. Something's ring through, like CBS, the Champions League. I might sound like I'm tangenting all over the place here, but it all comes into one. The CBS Champions League coverage, they were talking about the title race on it a couple of weeks ago, and Henri was on it, and he was saying it was the night we bashed Bayer Leverkusen, and he goes, "This is why I see Liverpool going on and winning the league, and because their intent is to go and win games and to win." He says that's their intent, and it looks like to me that they're the only team with intent. Whereas when I watch Arsenal, I feel like they're afraid to lose games, and I think that's been bred into them since the hiding that they got in the run-in when they were 8 points clear at the Etihad. They got bashed 4-1. Then they go there the following season and they draw 0-0, and they're like
celebrate it.
I just like the Arsenal fans like to call themselves the Invincibles. I think they should be called the Emotionals, because I don't see it with them. I really don't. And again, Arteta, where's the arrogance come from? I really don't get it. Like, I'll be hypercritical here. He had to get rid of every single personality in that Arsenal dressing room. He got rid of all of them.
And backroom.
Aubameyang, Ozil, big egos, can't handle them. It's not a good sign. He was a bang average player. I genuinely think he's a bang average manager. And I genuinely think he's had to get off on a lovely one. He's had to find himself now in a contract where he's on 15 million a year, and there's literally nobody questioning him at the club. It's fucking crazy. And Arsenal fans are screaming out for a striker. They literally put the house. We spoke last week about putting the house on certain players. Yeah, they've put the house on Kai Havertz. He's on. I had to look at it earlier because I heard he's on €300,000 a week.
He's the highest paid player.
It's crazy. So and he's hamstrung them, and they can't get rid of him. They gave him a big stupid contract. He doesn't score goals. I don't think he's effectively links up play. Chelsea saying they would throw the trees and just let him go. I genuinely don't get about Arsenal. And to be watching, if I was a supporter of Arsenal and I'm waiting on my team to get a corner or a set piece to change a game, Jesus Christ, teams have already caught on.
Well, you see, I think I watched
40 corners today.
I watched United today to see, because United have been very vulnerable from set pieces. We've seen it, like they're conceding goals direct from free kicks and all sorts of messing, and they've been very vulnerable to them. And they were actually it was mentioned in the commentary that they were actually undone by 2 corners away at Arsenal in early December. I think it might have been under Emerald. It might have been one of his first games. And I watched them today, and what he basically done was he went, listen, we have 9 players, outfield players for the majority of this. We're going to put 4 of them at the front post, and we're going to put fucking 5 of them at the back post, and nobody in the middle of the box. So basically, all the bullying Arsenal do on that front post is not going to happen. And we'll take our chances on the back post, and we'll make sure we fill that gap. As soon as the ball went over the 4 lads at the front post, they turned and went and got back into the middle of the box. Because Arsenal's thing is, they bully the guy on the front post, right? Which basically stops him from reacting to the header at the back post coming back in across the goal, and United just didn't let it happen. Yeah, but what they usually do is they put it over the guys at the front post, and then they look for the header down into the space. And United wouldn't be bullied today. So they were really good.
United's defence were brilliant today.
United's defence were good today, but like Emma, I'll come to you, Emma. Right? United's defence were good today. Right, threw their body in. The lit was very good. I have to hand it to him. He made some really good blocks. He made an exceptional one from where you thought Trossard was tapping in. He made another really good one from in front of Declan Rice. But if you look at it, like Shawnee's saying there, they're screaming out for a forward. Like, what they're creating is these things where they just go over to the side of the pitch, pass it back and forward a few times. Odegaard gets on his left foot, comes inside and swings the ball over towards the back post. And Havertz does miss a couple of chances, but as the game went on, United just copped this and went, lads, every time Odegaard gets on that, make sure they're 3 centre halves on the back post, will you? And we just shepherd these things out. That's what it looked like to me during the game. United did play well, but they just seen what Arsenal were doing and went, yeah, just put loads of bodies in that area and we'd be absolutely fine.
Yeah, Arsenal have become pretty predictable. They play as though they have this goal scorer up top. But they don't. Like you said, they were swinging balls in all day as though they've got your man Gokeres or whatever up front. And they don't. They have Kai Havertz. And I heard he missed an open goal. I was only switching to and from it.
It dropped to him, and he literally the keeper was gone down, and he was four yards out, and he just kicked it over the bar.
Yeah.
But
it's I agree with what Shawnee. I never looked at it like that. The fact that maybe Arsenal had just seen as being that good because there was everybody. Well, we had fallen off. Chelsea fell off a little bit. They just. I think they've ran their course with I think he's taken them as far as he can take them, and we're talking about salaries. I said maybe I think it was not the start of this season, the start of last season when they were signing Saliba to a big contract, they were signing Saka to a big contract, and they were talking like 200 grand, 250, 300, and you're like, and when they actually signed Havertz as well, when he got the biggest contract, I was like, these need to now go and win something.
Yeah.
And bring in revenue. Okay, they'll get TV revenue, but obviously you get more revenue when you win the league. You get more revenue if you win the Champions League, or else they're in a bit of a predicament now where the fans start questioning the manager. They're already starting to question the manager. It's not going to be long before the players start questioning: is this fella going to be the one that's going to take us where we need to go? I don't think he is. I agree with Shawnee. But who do they bring in? They're already calling for Mourinho on Arsenal Fan TV. No, they are. But I don't think he's a good manager. The arrogance in interviews, like I know he was stitched up a little bit by that. He was stitched up a little bit by that journalist during the week talking about the ball. But like today, it was like we didn't get what we deserve and all that kind of stuff, and it's just like.
Yeah, but you can't lose a game. You can't. Yeah, but you can't go out. You can't go out and be one. Sorry. Yeah, but you can't go out. You can't go out in a game, and no matter who you are, for me, you cannot go out and be 1-0 down. Fine. You get back to 1-1. Okay, they're down to 10 men on. It's probably around an hour.
60 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you have an hour of football after an hour of already being played. And you were at home against that United side who, they come to Anfield last week to get a draw, but I believe that was down to Liverpool being like just fucking playing stupidly. But you can't like you come away from that. Like we came away from that game last week and went, Liverpool, that's all Liverpool deserved at most because the way we carried on. Arsenal cannot say that they did not get what they deserved today. They had 60 minutes against a team with 10 men at home, and the other team had no intention really of attacking you. After they played 60 minutes anyway. So it was a really tiring side when you look at United. And they didn't do it. They just did not do it. So they got exactly what they deserved.
Well, he's done that before. I don't know. Was it against City? Did City go down to 10 men against them or something like that? And Arsenal it didn't go for this. They ended up drawing.
That was the draw last season when they celebrated like they won the league and ended up losing the league.
Hotline says they had the chance though, Gav. They should have scored. They absolutely should have scored. But they didn't.
Yeah.
And that's
they don't score goals from home.
If you don't score, you don't deserve to win.
But you see, if you watch that game through, as it goes on, they should score from one or two things where they get in behind or they swing a ball in. But the more these balls get swung in or the more those little balls try to go in behind, United are copped to them. And the chances start to go away and nothing changes then. They just don't change what they're trying to do. It's just the same stuff. And listen, Arsenal Fan TV, people are like, get on to that. Someone in their WhatsApp group sent in. It was actually one of the lads someone mentioned here tonight. Lee Judges, is that his name? And he basically said, look, we're going into grounds and we're sitting there and you're nearly falling asleep in the first 10 minutes where we pass it and pass it and pass it. We don't show any intent to go out and beat sides. We're sitting there just passing and being extra safe with everything we do. And like Shawnee said, going back to Henry, Liverpool want to go and win games and win points. Arsenal want to protect points rather than going and making sure of them.
Arsenal went through something similar to this in the early 2000s where they just tried to pass the ball into the goal all the time.
They did.
Yeah, that was the
Well, I think
Rosicky era, wasn't it? And
the mentality's been in question for such a long time.
always,
I actually think
yeah.
it's ingrained in the club, similar the way it is at sports. I think, to be honest with you, I just feel like that too emotional and the entitlement. I really don't understand it. Like, you should love everything about Arsenal, their history, the way they've played football, the players that they've had in the past, the football that they watched, but their fans just make it impossible. I think with the sort of, like, don't get me wrong, you could probably argue now are they the third biggest club in England with the success what their clubs around them have had in the time. I think again look, timing is so important in football. Like, you look back to Poch's Spurs team, don't win the league, finish third in the 2-horse race, and then get beaten in a Champions League final, and that's it, the wheels come off. I actually feel like that this Arsenal team are in a similar spot now where, like, you need a League Cup or you need an FA Cup to kind of wet the whistle a little bit in terms of, okay, but we can kick on here and start to win trophies. I think the importance of the smaller trophies is way overlooked. The first trophy Pep won in England was a Carling Cup.
Yeah.
The
Same Mourinho.
first, and Mourinho as well, and it kind of it's like a gateway achievement to the bigger things. In course, it worked different for Liverpool. Klopp wins bigger, 6, but again, what's to say if we lose that final, we don't fucking capitulate then the following season and do nothing then, and it just peters out, and you're kind of going, what if? I feel like that's the case now at Arsenal. It's a big whole load of what if. What if we signed a striker? What if this player was fit? And what if that player was fit? Or what if we didn't get sent off? If this player didn't get sent? Or what if we hadn't got 10 men for this game? I don't. The mentality and that, for want of a better term, what fucking, in fairness, Troy Deeney said it, which if he's speaking sense on you, you know you're in trouble. He said it a long time ago.
Massive trouble.
Yeah, exactly. You're in fucking bother. If Troy Deeney is speaking about you and he's making sense, then you may as well dial it in. He questioned that Gahan is, and I genuinely feel like there's a lack of bollocks in the Arsenal team.
Absolutely. But it's fed by a media. It's fed by a media. Sorry for cutting across you, Gav.
Okay.
And the neutrals. Gary Neville is telling everyone that Arsenal are the best team in England and are this and that because he doesn't want to champion Liverpool, and he reluctantly doesn't want to champion Man City when it's in. So he's telling you, and others are telling you how great they are. They're not. They're all 4 count now niggers. Like, I can't believe the hype that these get. I can't believe the hype that Arteta gets. He's done fuck all. He won 1 FA Cup. The fans are all turning on them. They're turning on them. I seen your man Turkish on AFTV, and he was making good points, saying like they've murals of the set piece coach. They've murals of the Cronkies around the ground. Says they don't have a mural of here, but yeah, they've murals of not even Josh Cronky. They've murals of the 2 Cronkies. They've murals of Arteta. They've murals of fucking, it could be Havertz. They've murals of the throwing coach, right? The set piece coach. They don't have them of Herbert Chapman.
What's wrong with Emmett? Emmett looks like he's going to have
a try not to spit me drink.
Oh, right, okay, sorry.
But they're saying it's a new breed of Arsenal that's so detached from the history of the club. Do you know what I mean? The history of Arsenal. It's like they're a totally different entity now. It's like the Highbury Arsenal are gone. This is the Emirates Arsenal. And they're a totally different club and a totally different setup. And the likes of Gary Neville and others are willing them to win the league. So they don't have to look at City winning fucking 5 or 6 in a row and smashing their records into oblivion. And they'd never want to say, we want to see Liverpool winning it. Do you know what I mean? So these are the clowns that are telling everyone. And everyone laps her up and says how great they are. They're fucking geek.
It's like, yeah, exactly. It's like when your man Bladen threw the Blade statue of Michael Jackson in front of the crowd.
That's what Noah was saying. He's full of other legends.
Sorry, Keith. Did you say the Cronkies have a mural?
Yeah. Stan and Josh.
Stop. Does Win the Dog have them?
Yeah, well, I seen someone else tonight saying get out.
Win the Dog. Like, what's going on?
I know, we love talking about Win the Dog. But
Win the Dog, it sounds like a game in Funderland.
Can I?
I seen Lee Gunnar saying that.
Sounds like a game up in Labra Park.
I seen Lee Gunnar on, and he was saying, Arteta, get out. The set piece coach, get out. Bring the dog with you. Like, they're all.
But can I ask you something?
What are you going to do with the dog, actually?
Yeah, it's not just for Christmas.
That's clearly something Arteta picked up at Everton. They had a
they'll
big
probably
dog as well,
rename.
didn't they?
They'll probably just rename the dog beating on Penos. I don't know. But look, from when I look at Arsenal,
No, they're just not. The dog's name's Win now, but they're just going to call him Just Don't Lose. See what happens.
yeah, take a draw. Come here, take a draw. But come here. For me, when I look at Arsenal, 2 seasons ago, playing good football, looked like they were really progressing and spend the money and whatever. And last season, they went toe to toe with City and they were beaten by 2 points, and that happens. But I think when I think back to Klopp when he loses 18-19 to City and he gets 97 points, which is 8 points more than Arsenal got last season, and still loses the league. They don't try to be too clever. They just go, and we bang on all the time about what did he sign after that European Cup win. It was Harvey Elliott and it was whoever, right? Adrian or fucking whoever it was, right? But they weren't trying to be too clever. They went, listen, we believe in what we're doing. Keep doing what you're doing. We are going again. And they went again and they obliterated the league. When I look at Arsenal this season, I think they're trying to be too clever. I think they've got to 89 and they went, let's do exactly what we've done again. And we could do 91, we could do 92, and that might be enough. But they haven't. And I actually think they're the complete opposite. When I watch them play, they're the complete opposite of what I would expect from that set of players. From that set of players, I would expect quick football all the time. Get it into midfield, get it to Odegaard, get it out wide, get people moving, running. But today, the amount of times Odegaard plays it to Sterling, and Sterling takes about 14 touches without moving 5 yards with it, to give it back to Odegaard for to put it in the box. I was like, teams can see this, and that's where I think they are. I think they just try to be just too clever. And I want to ask you, because we're not going to preview Tuesday night now, and we'll probably do something tomorrow night on it. But is this a really good time for Liverpool it's a good time to go and win at Forest, don't get me wrong. But Emma, I'll start with you. When you look at Arsenal being beaten by Newcastle during the week, okay, and then you look at them being knocked out of the FA Cup today, should this prick Liverpool's ears up to go, listen, we really want to win on Tuesday, but after that today, Liverpool should go, we must win on Tuesday, and heap all the pressure on them and say to them, we're 9 points ahead of you now, and you have to play tonight, you have to win. Because as much as we want to win games to put the hammer down and see if they can keep up with us, just by winning games, I think it might be enough. I think right now this is the killer zone for Liverpool when it comes to Arsenal for me.
They're a wounded dog at the moment, pardon the pun on win, but they've lost 2 at home. They hadn't lost at home all season up until the Newcastle beat them. So that's 2 in a row. So doubt themselves, they'll start doubting themselves. You saw what happened to City. You saw what happened to us when we lost in 2021. We lost 1 at home, then we lost 2 at home, and we were like, oh shit. Then we lost 3. We lost 6 in a row at home.
Yeah.
So these things can kind of get into your psyche. But yes, go and I was only thinking of this in the car earlier on. It's a novel thing to say that, well, not a novel thing to say, but it's a strange thing to say that playing Nottingham Forest on Tuesday is almost, in terms of not mind games, but in terms of kind of like a mental blow to Arsenal. If we go on and we beat Notts Forest on Tuesday. Sorry, I'm not allowed to call them Notts Forest. It's Nottingham Forest, isn't it? Nottingham Forest on Tuesday. Yeah.
They're only going to annoy you fans. They're all mongols.
Yeah. Notts Forest.
So fingerprints there.
Yeah. Notts Forest. Go and beat Notts Forest on Tuesday and go those 9 points ahead. Their next game now is against Spurs, is it?
Spurs and Villa.
And Villa.
Yeah.
And
are they both at home?
Both at home, yeah. Both home
games. It is, boys. Tuesday is the biggest game of the season so far.
Yeah, so far.
There's no doubt about it. But you see, Keith, it's a huge game. You want to win it. You want to wake up Wednesday morning going, we're 9 points clear. Right, all games equal. We're 9 points clear. I'd actually love to be a little bit more clear to that with a game in hand going into Everton. Of course, so would everyone, Gav. What are you talking about? But I feel like if we don't go and do this job, and I'm hoping the players feel this, that if we don't go and win there on Tuesday night, we could possibly let a teetering Arsenal off the hook. That's the big thing for me.
Yeah, in a way, but at the flip side of that is if we're in a sort of a lull or we've hit a bit of a wall, they've done nothing to capitalise. Forgetting about the points, the draws in the league, they've gone out with 2 cup games at home. So mentally, that's going to fucking hit them. Do you know what I mean? So they're not showing me anything that they can step up and take. Now, look, famous last words, and we don't know what happens. A long way to go in the league, but they're not showing anything that they can go in and capitalise. The beauty of this Notts Forest game is Arne Slot wants to win this one because they beat Liverpool. So he has a fucking horn to beat these. So he won't take it. He won't take it lightly. I think they'll go in to win the game. And I agree. I think if Liverpool beat Forest, it's a real slug in the gut to Arsenal because the pressure pulls on them. I don't think they deal well with pressure. They've shown nothing that they deal well with pressure. They're overly emotional. They're soft centered. I know they got harder over the last couple of years by just buying loads of centre backs and defensive midfielders and playing 4 centre backs and 3 DMs in their fucking starting 11. But they're still soft. They're still a soft touch as far as I'm concerned. They're a good team on that day. We've seen it. They can play some good stuff. But those days seem to be fewer and far between now because they've just set themselves up to not lose. As was said, Shawnee said it earlier, not lose, not lose, not lose. And if you're in a game, let's say you're playing a match and you go out and you set up in a defensive formation, low block, 10 men behind the ball, and then you go behind and it's really hard to change that mentality in a game. If you're doing that for a year and a half, it's really hard to change that mentality in a squad, in my opinion. So if Arsenal then have this change and say, all right, we're going to go all out attack now, you can't do that with the players you have because you're still going to have a defensively minded team. So it's really hard for them to flick that switch, especially with Saka being now injured. So I think Liverpool look at this game on Tuesday, they go to Forest, they get the win, hopefully, and I think it puts everyone on alert in the league, not just Arsenal, Man City, everyone, the neutrals,
Forest.
the so-called never have played neutral.
Like as much as you can say what you want, if Forest win on Tuesday night, they're 3 points behind Liverpool.
Yeah,
and you know, and
Yeah,
you can
well,
and listen,
they will fall away.
they may fall away, but
they'll fall out.
But the longer they stay in
won't end in the
it,
top.
but the thing is, the longer they stay in it, they remain there as a factor for a lot of people, including Arsenal, by the way, Arsenal, because of a couple of, like, I'll put it to you this way: if Forest stay in this for another 7-8 games where they're within, say, 6 points of Liverpool or 9 points of Liverpool, it probably means they're second, right?
And what happens is they've gotten a few hidings.
Yeah, but the thing, it's not that I'm not saying that Forest can win the league and stranger things have happened, i.e. Leicester. What I'm saying is that if Arsenal are looking around going, we're 28 fucking games in here and we're still fucking level with Forest, and 1 or 2 behind start finding a bit of form, before you know it, all these positions get really fucking ropey. It could be 1 weekend where you're sitting second and next thing you're fifth. Because they can't catch. You know what I mean?
Chelsea went 4 games without a win, wasn't it? 3 defeats and a draw.
Yeah, no, they're about 12 points off us.
Miles off, and they were
and the first game that they drew, they could have went top if they'd won it.
Arsenal play Notts Forest in the 20. There's 26th game of the season.
Yeah, which is about 5 games away.
25th of February. Yeah.
Yeah, Shawnee, it's not a given on Tuesday night. It's not.
No, absolutely
no
not.
game is. And I don't. A lot of people in the chat there are saying, "Oh, look, there." Not for a second am I saying Liverpool are going to stroll in there and win the game. Not a hope.
Nobody is saying that.
It's going to be a really fucking tough game. But Shawnee, if we're serious about winning this title and we're serious about, we talk about taking advantage, not so much, they've been beaten and we're playing for us the next night. You want to put as many obstacles in front of Arsenal as you can, because that's who's seen as the huge threat. And without writing off Forest, right? But if you're looking at Arsenal, you're going, beaten in the last 2, out of the FA Cup, Liverpool have won the night before, it's a North London derby. You want to throw as many obstacles in the way as you can. Liverpool have to be absolutely zoning in on this and preparing for Forest on the break and sitting behind the ball. Liverpool have to be absolutely on this, because it's not only 3 points, it's not only sending a signal to Arsenal, I think it's sending a signal to everyone. You've pinpointed this game, the Forest game, a lot. We've gone and won it. Who's up next? And Liverpool go off and take off, especially after the United result. It's a huge, huge game.
Yeah, and don't take yesterday out of it because of what it was. It was a home tie against the League Two side. Like the performance, we will need a marked improvement on the performance from what we seen at Spurs and at home tonight. There's no doubt about it. But like, I'm not going down there thinking these are fucking Royal Rows we're playing either. They're going to give us the ball if we're ruthless enough and clinical enough. We'll beat them and we'll look after ourselves. But we have to turn up. That's the thing. We have to turn up. We can't be lazy in a challenge or go 1-0 behind. You just don't want to do that. The City grounds up. Look what happened last year. Look at the game last year. Fucking mad game. Literally last kick of the game, Darwin wins it. So it is going to be tough, and I don't think any self-respecting football fan or Liverpool fan will be tough and saying, "Oh yeah, rock up and do it." And I agree with you. It would be sort of a marker to put down in terms of going there and winning because they've been really good at home. But yeah, it's for us to go up there and lay down the gauntlet. I think I'll go back to Keith's point to give balance. Although Arsenal didn't make up any points over us on during the Christmas where we kind of dropped a few. At the same time, we missed a couple of opportunities to hammer in a few of the coffin nails. Like in terms of the Fulham game when they draw at home to Everton. Obviously, circumstances there, you kind of understand with Robinson going off, we probably still should win the game. And then I think the next game then is the Newcastle game where fucking Kelleher has a brain fart in the last minute and we don't capitalise and take 3 points. On the same night they draw, I think they draw Everton that
As a Fulham.
Fulham. Yeah, Fulham. They draw Fulham. So I think it's an opportunity to kind of to. I don't actually. I'm not pinning me hopes on Spurs on Wednesday night either. To tell you the truth, but
The Angel Brigade are out in
go there and win, and then they're going, "Oh Jesus, all right." So maybe the media coverage of Liverpool's last couple of games in the league and away to Spurs has probably been a little bit exaggerated, and we'll kick on. But again, the old cliche is the next game is the biggest one, but I'm not kidding when I say that this is definitely the biggest game of the season so far, in my opinion. Anyway.
Yeah, there's so many elements to it where Liverpool coming off the back of that, forget the Accrington thing for a minute, and even the sports thing. The league game we're coming off as United. The games Arsenal are coming off and the defeats and very close to being out of both cups, coming into this. And if Liverpool win, they're sitting there going, we don't win this, they're possibly 12 clear of us here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
11 or 12 points clear of us. And lads, the games are going to tick over like there's no tomorrow. Before you know it, it's 22 games gone. Then it's 25 games gone. And then the games start to disappear so fucking
quick. The other sides are running out of road. And that's what happens. Again, I'll go back to the game.
But we have to make them run our road. We're the ones that take the road away.
Very rarely is a league title easily won. That's just the God honest truth. 1920, we fucking blitzed it. Let's be real. But then the world shut down. And we didn't know what was going to happen. So again, it's going to come down to showing up and showing your balls on Tuesday night. And the thing is, I back the squad and the characters we have within the squad to be able to do it. And again, we go back to yesterday. It's great that Jota got minutes. It's great that Trent is probably in a much better headspace after yesterday than he had been the previous week as well. And then Kanate's minutes in his legs. We'll benefit from yesterday, big time.
Yeah,
and I think that's
not only on Tuesday. I think you'll benefit.
The perfect setup. It's the perfect setup.
Yeah, we can't. I don't think we can go into Tuesday with many complaints about the preparation around it all. I don't think we can, lads. Before we go, something that's really kind of fucking annoyed me over the last couple of days is this link to Kvaratskhelia. Okay, a lot of people. I'm sure it's going to pile in the chat now, but it has been on the Telegram group. It has been across social media and stuff like that. But a lot of people have a lot of different views on this with regards to he wants to leave. Napoli, PSG being mentioned, Liverpool throw their name out there. Whatever way you think they've thrown their name out there. Keith, what do you make of this? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I genuinely believe Liverpool have thrown something out there and they look fucking stupid.
I don't know what benefit they get from doing that. Like, and if that is the case, we saw the Caicedo one, people thought, and this does my head in when people say it was a PR stunt. They tried to go, but the work was already done when they went to the table for Caicedo, and he'd already agreed with Chelsea. The worry I'd have with the Kvaratskhelia thing is that he's agreed terms with PSG. Now, I don't think there's any, other than living in Paris over Liverpool, I don't see any other reason to not go to Liverpool if I'm him. So I think if there's still a deal to be done there, I think we can still go in and do it. I think Liverpool, by being opportunistic as they have in the past, they've let other teams do the negotiating to see, you know, a little flash of the knickers to see what they have to do here. So I think there's still a bit of legs maybe in Liverpool seeing this, but he could have played for PSG tonight for all I know. Do you know what I mean? I'm not really following it too much. So from what I've read, the fact that Ornstein and Joyce came out and said it, you have to give it a bit of kudos. But at the same time, credence, yeah. At the same time, if it turns out to be shite again, I think their, not reputations, but their standing is a bit in the bin. Do you know what I mean?
No, but
Like, they were told.
They were told.
We said this. We said this. Did we say this on the show last week about Richard Ewers and Ornstein?
Same as Lenny Yoro. Exact same as Lenny Yoro.
I can understand the Lenny Yoro one. I can understand the Lenny Yoro one because the money went mad. Yeah, but don't say that. And that's the thing. When you're saying it, you're setting yourself up, and it'll be another failure. It's Zubamendi, it's Lenny Yoro, it's fucking Caicedo, it's everything just stacking up, boom, boom, boom. Richard Hughes is only in there since the summer, but a lot of stuff is coming out, and if it doesn't come off, you look like a gobshite. And there's no way of painting that. There's no way of saying, oh, look, he's only new in the job. I give him a little bit of leeway with the contracts because he was sort of handed that shit sandwich when he came in. It's a difficult one to do. But I can't give him, like, he's there for transfers. Do you know what I mean? He's a director of football. He's there to look after transfers and bring players in. He's a decent record of it at Bournemouth. I don't know if this was his modus operandi at Bournemouth where he's briefing journalists and not doing that. And I don't see where the fucking, you know, I don't see where the positivity comes from that. Or we tried. Look, there's no way around it. If Liverpool just sit on their hands again while a supposed target, you know, go somewhere else and they haven't even played and jumped in the ring for a shot, they look ridiculous. And whether you believe that or not, whether you agree with that or not, it's just how it's going to look. It's all about optics.
You see, my argument on this is that if Kvaratskhelia goes to PSG and Liverpool, nothing is said by these two journals. He goes to PSG and people go, I kind of would have liked him at Liverpool. He's a really fucking good player, but that would have been the end of it, right? Yeah. But the fact that, and people are going, Ornstein this and that, Ornstein that. I'm not a huge fan of Ornstein, but I'm big enough to say when Richard Hughes arrives into Liverpool, Ornstein is very close to him, right? I'm big enough to say that. I don't like the fella, right? I've huge issues over him with regards to the way he carried on with him and James Pearce with regards to the possible sale of Liverpool Football Club, which in my opinion was nonsense. But Liverpool say nothing about this, and he goes to PSG. Nobody bats an eyelid. If Liverpool say nothing about this and go and sign that player, right? It's brilliant by the club, right? But the fact that they've thrown it out there, they're nearly putting themselves under. Not nearly, they are. They're putting themselves under pressure to sign that player.
Yeah.
Whether they're going to do it or not,
don't even really need.
But whether they're going to do it or not, they've put themselves, right, inadvertently or maybe advertently, in massive pressure to sign this player. And that's the truth, because it's not some fucking aggregator account on Twitter or some fella that pretends he fucking knows stuff that's going on. This is a journalist we know is close to Richard Hughes, and the number one journalist for football on Merseyside, both red and blue, in Paul Joyce.
Who doesn't brief an awful lot, Paul Joyce. Paul Joyce doesn't say an awful lot unless there's a bit of weight and people sort of latch onto it.
Emma, yeah, it's... I don't know where you are in it, but I just don't understand why you're opening your mouth in any way. Unless you want to say, they never opened their mouth, those two journalists just went alone and said that.
I don't think it's so. A lot of people think it's like Keith said there. We tried. I don't kind of go in. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, we're doing that to make it look like well, we tried to sign them, or we're trying to sign
That's
players."
bad PR.
Like, yeah,
That's
Yeah,
really
terrible.
bad.
where's the positivity from that?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly. So why is it? Why are they doing it? Are they kind of thinking, right? Well, because I read something that apparently PSG had already agreed terms in this last summer, and then nothing happened. So, like, this isn't just this. When it came out that he wanted to leave, Liverpool didn't know that he wanted to leave just when he announced it. All this kind of talk would go on in the background, so they will have known that he maybe was thinking about leaving. I don't understand why they announce. Do they like the agreement is with the player, but PSG don't want to stump up the cash that Napoli want.
Yeah.
Are they? Did they do it to see if the player's head would be turned? I don't know, but it's not. I agree. It's not a good look. But I don't go in for the whole they're only doing it to make it look like we're willing to try and sign players.
Yeah.
It's not even a player that we like Keith said there, we probably need. Although I did say the other day to you in the WhatsApp, we've done this before where we've signed a player in January we didn't necessarily need. We did it with Diaz. Don't think we didn't necessarily needed them. We did it with Gakpo. Don't think we necessarily needed them. There may have been one more. But maybe it is something that we were probably trying to do in the summer, and now we have to try and see if it's something that we can do in January.
Yeah, like Chris.
Maybe it's a case of by saying it, does he go, well, hang on, I'll stay with Napoli till the summer and we'll have a chat in the summer.
Yeah, like Chris is there. No, they didn't. They said they could act, may act on interest. Where are people having a meltdown over something that was never said? It's genuinely weird. Chris, the fact that, listen, if those two journalists have come out on their own and said, now someone said Paul Joyce, just retweeted Ornstein. He knows why he's retweeting Ornstein. Everyone knows why he's retweeting Ornstein, right? Because if Paul Joyce comes out and says the exact same stuff as Ornstein, people go, "Oh, well, Ornstein said that before him." Everyone knows why he's retweeting it because he believes it, right? Now, Chris, what you're saying there is perfectly true. They said they could act, may act on interest, but why? Unless them two journalists have gone out on their own and said it, which I don't believe they have, why are the club telling these two journalists we might act on that or we may act on this interest? Why say it? Don't say anything.
The last thing this hierarchy needs at the moment is bad PR because, look, I won't speak for everyone, but in my opinion, the optics surrounding Hughes, Edwards and Cow are quite poor at the moment. I don't think they've done anywhere near enough. Now, people can say they allowed defeat at FSG and John Henry. Like, that's stupid. Like, that, John Henry would have no idea. It'd be Billy Hogan, you thought. I guarantee John Henry doesn't think about Liverpool half as much as you actually think he does because the fella's a billionaire capitalist and Liverpool is, no one say it's a play thing, it's just part of his portfolio. He pays someone very handsomely to worry about what happens at Liverpool, and that would be someone like a Billy Hogan and in this case Michael Edwards. So I just think that they had such good, what's the word I'm looking for, did such good faith with the Liverpool support in the past with just how well we were run during the Klopp regime. I think it's not really talked about enough how quick it went to shambles and how bad it got quickly in terms of Julian Ward legging it and then Klopp's mate coming in for 6 months and again that leaving us in this similar situation.
He had a lovely time though. He had a lovely time.
But that's what's kind of that's what you can, and I'm with Keith. Like, I don't directly attribute not signing the three boys up the contracts to Richard Hughes because again, this is an issue that he's inherited from the past regime. But I just think that Mamardashvili, yeah, it's a great signing, but let's not forget we nearly made a bollocks of it. That's the guy, and that's just the truth. That's not rumour. It was coming out on the Spanish side that Valencia were going, what the fuck is going on here with Liverpool? It was going on for weeks, and they were kind of going, what is going on here? Do you either want them or do you don't? and in the end, we ended up stumping up more. So it would show you that the negotiation probably wasn't as smooth as it could have been. So again, I think anyone new coming in does deserve time, but at the same time, they need to kind of show us something that, all right, so we can see the plan and what they're doing. Because although I understand why we didn't sign Lenny Euro, I don't get why we even put our name out there in the first place. I think it was stupid. I think it's very similar to the situation that Gav's speaking about here. Zubimendi, it looks like we got badly born with that, because I've been actually reading up a little bit more than that, and apparently
I feel sorry for Hughes on that one.
Zubimendi was way further down the line than people actually would know, and that's the truth.
Steve McManaman said
he's in a jersey
Zubimendi had jerseys on, having
it was
photos.
like the Fekir thing all over again.
Yeah, a bit like Fekir, yeah. Remember him,
their president kind of played a new reverse in the last minute and tugged on the heartstrings, and the fella stayed.
Offered him a pizza and a walk up a mountain.
And that's where, that's what annoys me. The fucking where the show comes into it, where it's fiction, or the mountain, they were showing them this, that, and the mountains, and it grows legs on social media, and people follow it. You know what I mean? It's stupid. But again, they do need to show us.
They need a win, don't they? They need a win.
They need a win. That's exactly what it is. You need something to say, okay, there you go. Do you know what they're fucking doing? And again, transfer is not the be all and end all in football. I know some people absolutely faint for it, fucking like a crackhead needs crack. But at the other side of it is, do Liverpool need a body in this window? I'd imagine that the vast majority of the fan base would say, yeah. Is it going to be a left winger? It would probably be the last fucking position I look at, to be honest with you. But at the same time, if a player, Kvaratskhelia, quality becomes available, yeah, you do want to be in the hat. But you can't just turn around and say, we're interested in that lad, and then you get a free ride to fucking PSG, and people are saying, oh, the wages, this, that, and the other. Apparently he's on dirt money, and what he's accepted at PSG is actually not
4 or 5 times, isn't it? Something like 4 or 5 times his salary.
What we're paying Chiesa at the moment. So again, there's no real reason why Liverpool, unless it's a smoke screen. But someone said, Sam Tandy said in the chat there, that the language that's even being used in terms of him being agreed with PSG suggests that the door is actually still open there. And if there is an opportunity for Liverpool to probably do something in the next few days.
And they may do. But
if we don't, again, it's going to be very similar to the Lenny Euro going, why the fuck are you saying that? And
this is my whole point on it.
Yeah, and again, I said it last week, and I said it kind of in tongue in cheek and probably a vulgar way, which is not like me, but all we've seen really from Liverpool and is how much everyone supposedly rates Richard Hughes in the football world and his book of contacts and all the positive PR. Fucking
get your fucking book out.
You can see, you can see clearly that Ornstein is being. I said this, Gav, in the summer, and it can't. Ornstein is being a complete pawn for Hughes, and he's being used to peddle whatever shit he's putting out.
And even
but you see, in his face, the window dwindled out. We got your man Mamardashvili. We almost made a bollocks of it. They're probably saying Chiesa as a opportunistic sign. Whatever way you feel about that, I wouldn't begrudge your feelings either way. Fair enough. You're probably your opinion's probably right on it in terms of what we expected when he came in. But I'm with you, Gav, totally. But at the same time, just believing words that's put on social media.
But you see, if Ornstein comes out and does this off his own bat, and Joyce believes it and retweets it, and people will go, it's only on Twitter. These two journals, honestly, right, especially Joyce, when Joyce speaks, he speaks very rarely, and he puts a lot of weight behind what he says, right? If he came out off his own bat and done that, I would, and Richard Hughes went, hold on a minute, I would have fully expected within 24 to 36 hours, if at most, that Ornstein would have come out and went, actually, Liverpool aren't going to go near that thing for Kvaratskhelia. And he would have been told, listen, shut that down. Shut that down. I don't know where the fuck you've got it from. Shut it down. It's not happening. But it hasn't been knocked out of the park.
In the chat, we win the league, will people still be dwelling on what Hughes is doing? Probably not that, because again, the extreme cases, you win a fucking league title. They're not going to turn around and go on about the hierarchy, but it's still should be a conversation held around it, and he still should be under pressure in the coming summer, because this year's success will heap even more pressure on in the summer, because there's loads of moving parts at the club. There's fucking plenty. There's got to be more questions than answers in the summer, regardless of what happens between now and May. So yeah, there still should be conversations around him and how competent he is, because at the end of the day, he's been trusted to run the football club.
Yeah, and listen.
And if you remember, the last time we won the league or the Champions League, was we done fuck all business. We brought in Harvey Elliott, but we done very little when we were, as we always say, you strengthen from a position of strength, and we didn't really do that, and it caught up with us. You know, it sort of it hit us when it counted. So I think it's really important for Richard Hughes. And as we said, you know, at Bournemouth he was signing players, and you're signing from a lower level of player. The risk isn't as high. The negotiation probably isn't as difficult. The Kvaratskhelia thing, you look at, Emmett, I think you said that PSG had tried to get him in the summer, but it was 120 million, I think, was the price then. And now it's down to 80 million euros or something. That's the quote.
And PSG apparently
they're
are offering
45 or 50 or something.
So according to the reports, what they're offering is fucking way off. But you also have to remember, Richard Hughes probably can't be thinking, well, if they're offering 45, I'm going to go in and offer 60, because you're dealing with fucking De Laurentiis here, and he will see Premier League money as well. So what might be 80 fucking million, you look at some of the European teams doing mad deals between themselves. As soon as Premier League interest comes into it, prices skyrocket. The expected lump sum up front is nearly the fucking whole fee, and there's loads of moving parts. So Richard Hughes needs to start acclimatising himself to being the Liverpool sporting director rather than the Bournemouth. And he was excellent at Bournemouth. He made some great signings at Bournemouth. But he's Liverpool now, and you're dealing with bigger players, bigger teams. Expectation is higher, the money is higher, and we need to get a wriggle on, because we're not seeing much. Marmarashvili, yeah, great, future proof. The goalkeeping position wasn't a position that we needed really to do, but opportunity came and we got a great keeper in. Chiesa, opportunity knocks, we took it. You know, hasn't worked out yet, but you know, it was a low risk. You know,
I think he might be involved in this opportunity if they decide to push on and try and get this chap, because it wasn't a rumor that if he goes to PSG, Napoli apparently want Chiesa as on loan as a replacement. So why not? So obviously a deal to be done there.
Look,
until I hear that PSG have done a deal with Napoli, there's still a deal to be done as far as I'm concerned.
They're absolutely.
They can agree all the wages that they want with the player, but if the club won't stump up the cash, he's gone fucking nowhere.
And the thing is, apparently PSG are struggling because they're trying to include your man Skriniar in the deal, and he won't accept the wages that he's being offered by Napoli. So again, it could be the classic bait and switch Liverpool done with Diaz. Excuse me, with Spurs, when the Spurs agree the deal and Liverpool goes, that's what it's going to take, is it? Okay, no bother, we'll go, and then the player will make his decision. Rose tints off. Ask anyone if Liverpool and PSG are about going in and agreeing the deal and agreeing you to pay as much as PSG did, maybe even slightly less, where are you going to hang your hat? Let's be real. Like, what are you going to win at PSG?
Yeah.
I don't even think you can watch it on the telly. The League One, like, you can't.
I'm not even telling.
You can't even get it on a dodgy box. Like, honestly, you have to go on the teletext to get the score. It's not even on live score now. You have to go way down. It's past the Leinster Senior now if you want to get the results.
Like, for me, look, when it comes down to it, I agree with people in the chat saying, look, we don't know, but I just couldn't get my head around the fact that these two journalists are dropping this out when this deal is possibly going on and putting yourself under the pressure of it. And someone did mention, like, if you won the league, would you care? No, I don't really fucking care about Richard Hughes and all this shit. I don't. But I just, and it's a completely separate situation. Liverpool on the pitch, I still think need a signing. You know, I really do. I think it'd be huge for us. But I just kind of look and go, we're going along grand here. If you don't want to sign anybody, just say fucking nothing. Right? because it'll just stay the way it is anyway. People will get a bit annoyed around the 31st of January. It'll die down. Fixtures come along, games come along, you win games, that disappears again. You come out at the end of the season, you win a league, and people knock that on the head for a little while till the window opens back up or whatever. But I just can't understand why you let that go out there. It's a bit like even if you go back to the contract situations, oh, this is going to unrest this and this is going to unrest that. That sort of thing can do that as well. You know, we put that out, we don't make a signing. First game in February, we draw the game. Oh, and look, we put this out in January, we're going to sign this fella, and we didn't, and now look, and it's just ammunition for people. Why are you doing that to yourself? And I just couldn't get my head around it. Maybe I'm overreacting, I don't know, but it was very fucking weird. And it still is weird. And like, don't get me wrong, they could sign him on Monday, and you go, well, fair play to you, because you put it out there and you kind of had to do it. But I just don't understand why it was done. Anyway, we better
positions rather than the left winger now. In fairness, I think
100%. And maybe it's a case of, if you want a midfielder, right, you have to sign a midfielder and this fella, because this fella was probably your plan in the summer, but it has to come forward. Fine, you take the hit and you do it for 6 months, you know, and you bring him in for 6 months, and then you make another decision in the summer. Fair enough, but putting it out there is just, I don't know. Anyway, we better run. Really enjoyed that. Tomorrow night we will be doing a preview of the Forest game, and we should have 2 shows tomorrow. We will definitely have a Forest preview tomorrow night, and then of course reaction to Forest on Tuesday night, and loads of different shows thrown in at different times of the day as we go through the week. Emma, anything else before we go?
No, I'm
happy. All right.
Yeah.
Shawnee.
Well, I wouldn't say happy, but yeah.
Shawnee.
Get a puncture today, Emma.
Do you think Emma's unhappy?
I got 2 punctures today.
Because 2 of his wheels got a flat on the way to the match today.
That's what you get from poaching players.
It was my own fault.
That's what you get from poaching players. You should have went around to Keith Duffy's whole back garden. It's full of tyres.
Hello, buddies.
Yeah, you could have knocked into him. Got a few tyres up.
You're going to have the LSL over in Pleasure Bleach in Blackpool when he's trying to sign them all up. Have a go on the Pepsi Max day and let me know how you feel when you get back down there. Look after you.
Shawnee, anything before we go?
No, just enjoy it. Enjoy the run in and stop worrying about stupid shit you can't fucking. Forget about contracts. Forget about it all. The one thing is for saying, the 3 boys are playing for Liverpool until May. That's not going to change at this stage. And they could win a load of trophies and fuck off and never play for Liverpool again. And like Gav said, August comes around and we'll be all here, cocks in hand, waiting for the league to start. Fucking tail wagging the dog as usual. Don't let it. Just enjoy the bleeding game. Enjoy the run in. It's great. Well, brilliant. So it's great.
Better than them.
I've seen loads of people in the chat saying Stefanos Simas. I don't know who the fuck that is.
He's a young striker. He's plays for PAOK in Greece. He's on loan at Nuremberg. Liverpool are linked with him. Apparently 25 million centre forward. He's only 19. He's one of these wonder kids. Bayern Munich are after him.
Samad Yessel's fucking.
Yeah. One of these. He's. So I looked at his stats earlier. He's got like 8 goals in 14 games for Nuremberg. That's in Bundesliga too. So I don't know if you can hang your hat on him. Bayern, I'd love to be going for him as well. Right. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be any real impact on Liverpool's season if they get him in January. I think.
Jayden Dan's is better than money anyway. I can guarantee you that.
Yeah, anyway, better head of hair as well.
Owen Borg says if Emma's looking for a left winger, Conor McGregor is available. Just to let you know. He's there. I don't know how much it cost you, but you have the money down there. Then I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah.
Keith,
the only team that can afford him is Newtown Rangers.
Keith. Anything before we go? I did want to ask you though. What's your take on just randomly listening to Bob Marley every so often? I think he's better.
Oh, Bob Marley's my favourite singer of all time. Like I listen to him all the time. Constantly listen to Bob Marley.
Got into him there the other day. I don't know why, but I did.
You just listen to Legend, or do you venture into some of the other stuff?
Or I just went to Spotify. I just type in Robert Marley, and then I just press play.
Robert.
No, I don't know what I heard something. I must have heard a song on the radio today, and I went into Spotify, typed in Bob Marley, and pressed play.
You can't beat that.
Yeah.
This is Bob Marley. There's about 800 songs. Just put it on and you'll find little gems in there. Like Johnny Was a Good Man and Pimper's Paradise, all these songs that wouldn't be on Legend that are absolutely quality. So yeah, I love Bob Marley. I was grew up on Bob Marley. I had two uncles that were, shall we say, fond of the narcotics in the 80s, and they were heavily.
I thought you were going to say two uncles that, let's just say, they had dreadlocks in the 80s.
Oh no, they were big Bob Marley fans. So we grew up and maybe me nannies and all that listened to Bob Marley constantly. So yeah, I love Bob Marley.
Yeah, just wanted to give Bob Marley a shout out. If anyone hasn't heard
He
him,
doesn't
go
get
and
enough
check him out.
shout outs, doesn't he? No,
No,
the
if anyone
kids, any
hasn't-
kids listening, Bob Marley or
Yeah.
Robert Marley, as Gav calls him.
Robert Marley.
Probably one of his.
His
kids,
man
isn't
calls
he?
him
He's
Robert.
about 2,000 of them.
He does. He loved
Ready,
slinging
mate?
dick. In fairness, out Bob Marley,
Oh,
didn't
for fuck's sake.
he? He did. He used to be rocking
Oh,
with
we
ladies.
nearly got there. We nearly
He used to be
did.
rocking with Miss Worlds and all.
Yeah.
Rita was at home, but then Rita was out blading, digging up skating boards as well. So digging up floorboards. So they weren't perfect. Let he or she who was without sin cast the first stone in that relationship, and that's how it should be. That's the
Thinking
far
of floorboards. Right, we have to go. Even Shawnee is shocked by this, and it's usually Shawnee that causes all the trouble at the end. But fair play
I
to
never
Keith.
caused trouble in me
No,
life.
never.
He-
Never know. Jeez, you wouldn't be a nicer fella.
A few people in the chat saying the recent biopic was fucking dirt. So don't base your
Dirt,
Bob
don't be
Marley love on
wasting
that. It was
time on that.
brutal.
Don't be wasting
sure.
time. It's a
Can
bit-
I, hold on before we go.
Oh, you won't be topping him this week, Keith. Here we go.
No,
He's
no.
back. He's not having
If
this.
No, he's not.
If
He's
you
not
haven't-
relinquishing this belt without a fight.
No, if you haven't, right? If you have Netflix or a dodgy box subscription, go on and watch the Jerry Springer documentary. Oh
Off
my
the wall.
god!
Is it new?
Honestly, the producers should be locked up. Honestly, like they'd be in the Hague now for crimes against humanity.
What's it? Is it like behind the scenes kind of thing? Is it?
It's off the wall gear. Honest to God. Vince McMahon probably would have walked out the first day because he said, "This is just, I'm not having it."
It's too mad. Even for me, it's
what?
too
Obviously,
mad.
whatever, right? Honestly, I don't know. Look, the Catholic Church had Ireland in a chokehold in the 80s and 90s when this show was in its pomp, yeah. So I'm sure, like you lads, like me, the only time you'd see Jerry Springer is if you were off school sick or you were home on your lunch and it was on the daytime telly. But we obviously only always got the fucking
cleaned
the
up
water
version.
down gear, the water down gear.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god! The first thing that comes up on it is some bloke married a horse, and I'm not. It's absolutely bonkers. And again, playing like Bob Marley, I didn't realise playing Jerry Springer was a swordsman of the realm. He brought his claymore to every battle, and he was actually winning. So, honest to God, it's fucking it's batshit insanity, and I just. If there's any Americans in the chat,
Coconut Coil said here, I grew up.
Ashley is in there.
Well, Coconut Coil is from Cincinnati, did he say the other day? But he said, I grew up on Jerry and it was mad.
Honestly, like, I think that we didn't. Because obviously, like, you got Jeremy Coyle and you had smackheads on punching the head off each other or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
Some of the gear that was coming out, and I'm sitting here, and I'm sitting there with the missus watching it, and she going, is this like a wind up with the office or something? I was like, no, this was real television from. So now I've made it me mission to find somewhere that has archived old Jerry Springer's episodes.
You get on YouTube.
When I'm no, you won't get these on YouTube. Got to get that.
You're going to the dark web to get these ones.
Yeah, you'd be lucky. I'm letting you know that now. I swear to God, it's off the wall.
Well, Rory says Jerry Springer was a great show. 5 o'clock on Sky One, having it on the background doing your homework. Ashley says it was the show that every parent tried to keep off the TV, which just made you want to watch it even more.
Put it this way, right? Do you know what they explained in the documentary was that they had to air it at 2 in the morning in America. Like, so that was
And if they done that in Ireland, you'd have your woman up in the top corner doing the
it's
sign
like
language.
Deaf people don't sleep. Deaf people don't sleep. They just stay up all night watching the telly.
Yeah.
Like, but honest to God, I swear to God, they were like, they had it, and we never thought we'd topple Oprah. And people were staying up till 2 in the morning to watch the game. It's off the fucking wall.
That's mad though, isn't it? The way they do the sign language just at night.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like deaf people don't watch the telly during the day. They only watch it from half 11 onwards.
Deaf people are like fucking Nosferatu and just wake up at night and the vampire.
That's actually mad, isn't it, when you think about it? Shrunken Jumper says your man and that horse are still happily married. So there you go.
Speaking of the sign language, one last thing.
Bertie said I got the box set from me ma. She loved it. Is that the Jerry Springer one? Anyway, I wouldn't put it past Bertie, to be fair.
On the sign language, if you can, go on to either TikTok or YouTube or whatever and look up when they have the people doing the sign language at rap concerts or like Megan Thee Stallion's concerts.
Right. Okay.
Have a look at the sign language they have to do for some of the lyrics.
John Brooks says, did you hear what happened to the Jenny Jones show? No, but we'll look it up and we'll come back to you next week, because if we look it up now, we'll be here for another hour. So what's the documentary called? What's it called, Sean? Is it called just the
Jerry Springer Show? Honestly, it's
bananas.
Flabbergasted. And I'm, you know what, just goes, my mind's in the absolute gutter, because I can't wait to find the archive, because I'm working from home for the next 6 weeks, and I swear to God I'm going to watch it. I'm going to make me life's work to watch every single episode.
Shawnee's going down the doctor tomorrow to get signed out work, so he can go find Jerry. Do you know what I'd love? In about 6 months, Shawnee shows up in Florida, right? All dishevelled. What have you been up to? I've gone to every fucking library in this country looking for this, you know, like his own documentary, just to find it. So there you go. Well, if you do one thing this week, don't even watch Liverpool on Tuesday. Get online there and watch the Jerry Springer Show. It's the hottest ticket in town. So there you go. John says, your man doing this.
Just before we go, Gav, sign off with that. Look at Calvin Van Voren's comment.
The midget KKK versus the midget Black Panthers was incredible. Are you messing? That was on Jerry Springer.
And on that bombshell.
The best of luck. Have a great week.
Mental.
Have a great week. Check out the Jerry Springer Show. Next week, tune in to find out what happened to the Jenny Jones show. And we go from there. And best of luck to your man. Didn't he get his own show over? The security guard.
Steve Wilkos.
Yeah, so he got his own show. So look, someone won over. There you go. Yeah. Jeremy Coyle is just Wish. Yeah, I know it is. Jeremy Coyle's the Wish version of Jerry Springer. Do you know what I seen earlier, boys? You know, just before we go, right? You know the way you see these things, Wish and Temu and all, right? I seen this thing earlier, and it was like when you buy a flight simulator off Temu, right? And it's this fella strapped to this fucking, looks like a sex swing, and he has a cape on him, and on the ground is just a big map that looks like a Google map, and he's just hovering over the map on this swing. It was fucking brilliant. Anyway, I don't know.
Jerry Springer, episode 16. That was who he was on that one.
Anyway, we really have to go. We're sorry for keeping you that long, but we had a lovely time, so fuck you. That has been the Talkin Kop for Sunday night. Liverpool are into round 4. They play Plymouth away. We're going to go and beat Notts Forest on Tuesday night. Arsenal are going to lose the North London derby. We're going to sign the 3 boys on contracts. Kvaratskhelia, we're going to abduct him from Paris, and we're going to see how we get on from there. Thanks to Shawnee, thanks to Keith, thanks to Emma, thanks to everyone in the chat. Like, subscribe, comment, become a member, all that messing. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.